What's going on, everybody? Nicholas Natt, and you are tuned into the Natt Fitness Method.
You crazy mother.
Thank you so much for spending your time coming and hanging out with me. If you're here, it's because you want to learn the growth hacks to fitness or optimal life wellness. But you also understand that it's not about just going and pursuing optimal life wellness or fitness, but also finding the key strategies. So my goal with the show and company are to be able to bring people who have the strategies, the tactics, and the information that are going to help you crack the codes and get from point A to point B simply and much faster. So this is actually a very sentimental moment because the guest I have sitting here with me has been one of the longest lifelong friends I've had. We grew up together literally as neighbors, and we had a chance to go from playing in the backyards to playing in the front yards to causing trouble. He's now a very successful entrepreneur and father and husband, as well as contained a lab, has been able to transform and revolutionize not just the way that people feel about themselves, as well as revolutionizing the way that they feel about pain and think, but also from being able to help people all over the Denver metro area and soon to be country and hopefully worldwide impact. It is my privilege to introduce to you Anthony, aka Tony Learned. Tony, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That was an amazing introduction.
Hey, man, it was nothing about that was sincere. It was 100% transparency. You know, Tony, obviously, you started an organization. You have a lab out here in Arvada. For those of you who don't know, it's on the other side of Denver, just a little bit further northwest. And so, why don't you talk a little bit about that and let us know what it is you do and why you chose to do it.
Great, okay. So my company processes industrial hemp. We go from plant all the way down to product. So we go and we meet with local hemp farmers, find the best quality that we can source, and then we extract it, filter it, and refine it down to concentrated oils. And then we take those oils and we infuse them in a variety of different products.
CBD is obviously a big part of that. So diving into CBD, why has CBD become so important? I think a lot of people think of it for its positive and its negative in terms of the controversy, what it's attached to behind the education. People just aren't familiar, but why has it in particular become so beneficiary for humans, and how does that science really work?
Right, well, it's a relatively new cannabinoid. It was always present in marijuana strains in very small amounts, and it's gotten a lot of press lately because plant breeders have been able to increase the amount, and then people like me are able to concentrate the oil. And so what that's allowed us to do is bring high potency products to people, and it's really brought a lot of information to people about what these products are good for. So CBD is really beneficial for a number of things that THC is not. THC is the cannabinoid that everyone's familiar with. It's like the headline or whatever. But CBD is starting to really become well known by everyone because I think the first thing that made CBD relatively famous was its ability to treat seizure disorder.
Right.
So there's these really intense seizures that people have where they're having, sometimes hundreds of seizures in a week, and there's very little that could be done for them by the doctors. And someone finally decided to try marijuana and then eventually CBD, and they found that they could end these seizures or at least really help moderate them. So that's kind of what brought it to the forefront in the media, and then once people became aware of it, they started experimenting with it for a variety of other things as well. And I'd say the top three things that we see CBD being really beneficial for, number one is pain management. And that really stood out to us as a company because pain management is a big issue in this country. You have a lot of people addicted to really harmful pharmaceuticals, potentially addictive, potentially lethal. And being able to provide an alternative to those people was really important to us as a company. And I'd say the second issue that people seem to take CBD for a lot is anxiety in general. You know, and once again, there's a lot of anxiety and depression issues, and people are prescribed a wide variety of different drugs to treat that. And CBD has provided an amazing alternative for a lot of these people. Once again, you know, getting them off of potentially dangerous or addictive drugs. And the third biggest seller that we have CBD for is sleep issues. So those kind of stood out to me as just an area where a lot of people are, you know, addicted to a drug or prescribed a drug in large doses and could really use an alternative. And CBD is providing that alternative for a lot of people, and that's been really rewarding.
What is it that is the major distinction between THC and CBD that most people probably wouldn't know?
Right. Well, I think the most important one to bring up first is this is what people always question is, does CBD get you high? And the answer is no, it does not.
Right.
You know, they're similar cannabinoids in that they bind to similar receptor sites. You have the CB1 and CB2 receptors in the endocannabinoid system, and this is what allows them to help regulate pain, inflammation, appetite. You know, but there are a lot of similarities between the cannabinoids, but it's a really important distinction that CBD will never get you high. It's safe for, you know, it's safe for animals, it's safe for adults, it's safe even for children. You know, and that's not something you would say for THC.
No. How could, you know, an athlete or somebody who goes to the gym, somebody who's using, you know, the rigors of training like myself over extreme hypertrophy really benefit from not just incremental but daily or constant use of CBD? What sort of benefits around the anti-inflammation could I expect?
Right. Well, you know, I'd like to use an example just to, you know, explain this really in depth. My sister recently started seeing a personal trainer, and she was experiencing a lot of pain and fatigue and even issues sleeping, which obviously if you're not sleeping well and you're in a lot of pain, you're going to have a lot of difficulty exercising. So I started giving her CBD, and what she found was there was some initial relief, but what really was amazing was the long-term effect of taking CBD on a daily. And she found that the pain went away, you know, and she was sleeping better, and because of that, she was able to exercise a lot better. And it's really helped her in her transformation and helped her as she, you know, starts getting into better shape.
Why do you think that this is just now, you know, within the last maybe 5 years or so, maybe even 3, is just now really becoming something that's popular when, you know, is it because the research has only been available for a short period of time, or the openness and receptivity, and how can people go out there and educate themselves, learn more about this and learn more about, you know, the properties of how this might help whatever condition or circumstance they're facing in their life?
Right. Well, I think you touched on a lot of the points for, you know, why it is a lot more known about now. Part of the issue, you know, 5 years ago was there, you know, the law regarding marijuana and even hemp was all the same, right? So there wasn't a lot of information available because there wasn't a lot of research happening. So what you've seen in the last 5 years or so is kind of a normalization in society, you know, and with that, there's a lot more research that's gone into it. And with that research, people have started experimenting with these other cannabinoids, and that's what brought CBD to the forefront, you know. When it was an illegal substance, it was all about getting high, you know, and people really started looking at the medicinal properties of it, and with legalization, that opened up the ability to really get into the plant, start experimenting with these different cannabinoids, and CBD was like the first one they were really able to crack and, you know, concentrate and start experimenting with. And it's been really amazing to watch the benefits that it's had, because trying to sell a cannabinoid that gets people high is a marginal thing, right? There's only so many people that care about that. There's only so many people that are going to want that, and that's understandable, right? But when you're able to present something like CBD that can add a really beneficial component to a lot of people's lives and doesn't get anybody high, then it starts getting a lot of people interested that never would have been before.
Yeah, the value for that is, you know, far, you know, it extends past any reach, in my opinion, because, you know, you're not just talking about something that is going to be beneficial for old people. You're not just talking about something that, you know, you use, or, you know, it's not safe to use. You know, popping 3 pills do not exceed 4 in 1 day. You know, long-term liver, kidney issues with that. You're really talking about something that increases the overall value and immediately pain, because that's what people feel and they want pain relief. Okay, short term, how would you recommend people going out there and becoming familiar with that? What kind of options are available for people? Because some people might not want to do vaping, they're just not
right
for them. Some people are a lot more into the topical. There's even bath bombs. What sort of things are out there and recommend for people? And is there a difference? I mean, do you get better absorption from vaping than you do from skin absorption, or are they really one and the same?
Okay, so I'd start with, obviously, do your own research. There's a lot of information available now online, and so it's really good to get out there, kind of dive into it, and figure out the specifics. But as far as ingestion goes, there's a product for everything nowadays. I think vaping in general can have a stigma because you're still inhaling a vape. It's not going to be really good for your lungs or whatever long term, right? To be smoking or vaping, but it can have more of an immediate effect for specific kind of pain. What we've seen a lot of people like to do is to take a daily capsule. So they have like a daily regimen. They take X amount of milligrams every morning or every evening, depending on their use. And then they're also using a variety of topicals to treat specific sites for injury or pain.
Like sore legs.
Right. So you take the pill, and then after your workout, you can rub a topical on there, and the enhanced effect is really beneficial.
Perfect. Perfect. This is amazing stuff, man. This is amazing stuff. And so I hope that you guys are definitely able to really witness and understand what's available out there, because what ends up happening is I think that you're really looking to find the minimal amount of things that are going to hinder your response. I mean, we're all stepping into our goals enthused, and what ends up happening is that life gets in the way, and it finds out that as you can move towards your goal of progression, whatever it is you're trying to do, more things stack up. There's always more obstacles, more adversity, and if you're in a position where you can really marginalize the issues that are going to work against you, like pain and inflammation, which are pretty good motivators not to go and do something, then long term you can see that effect. And like you had said before, if you can find something that is going to work for you, then even better, you can ingest it, or they can inhale it, or they can apply it. I think there's so many different value points to it. So thank you, Tony, for talking to us about really opening up the ideas about not just what it is and how it's derived, but really about the effects of inflammation, and really those three parameters are, in addition to many others, that it really helps with. And I think that myself and many of the other people will be able to go out there and find the information necessary, but ultimately just get in the game and try it. Get in the game and try, get away from some of the things that you might be used to taking to treat your sore wrist or your sore back, and see how this is definitely working. And again, as you had said before, the longer you take it, the better the effect that it's going to end up having.
Right.
Excellent. I have one last question, but how can people connect with you and the organization, find out more about how they can find out some products or some education, or even possibly come down and see the lab?
Right. Yeah, so the name of the lab is Med USA Botanicals, and our product is sold under the Healing Power of Hemp. There's a website, there's an Instagram, there's Facebook. Feel free to check it out. There's a variety of
We'll have
products.
those linked for you guys in the show notes, but you'll be able to check it out right there.
Yep. And then we're always welcome to giving tours of the lab to kind of show people the process, how we take the plant, extract the oils, and how we get it into the product and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome time. So with this product, Tony, last question.
Yep.
What is sort of the mark or the impact that you want to have on the world at large, starting with the Denver metro area?
All right, so our goal has always been to provide alternatives. I want to be able to offer someone an alternative to a potentially addictive or deadly medication that they're on, and we also want to be able to just provide relief, and in that we can spread a message to people that there are alternatives, there's a different way of doing things, and there is the potential to still heal yourself in a much healthier way.
Excellent. Tony, thank you so much for coming on. I hope that you guys have definitely received the information, and I am more than excited for you to definitely go out there, investigate, do your research, but more importantly, jump in the game. I'm telling you, this stuff will be a game changer. I highly endorse it. Until next time, my friends, be legendary.
You crazy mother.